play and call it work.
Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's Sit and Talk, our weekly show. We just sit down and talk. I'm just going to read a bunch of questions you left on last week's video, which was Quirk, and next week will be Luca or Mr. the Dice, or just the Luca the Dice. He'll be answering questions next week. Now, if you want to leave questions for him to answer, you got to leave it on this video on MiniWarGaming.com. I'm sure if you're watching this on YouTube that the comments are disabled, so just on our website, it's just easier for us to, get all the comments together and answer them. I'm just going to jump right into it. You know how it works. I'm going to read your first question. The Danish Viking King Alex. Also, well, as usual, I have not pre-screened these questions. I find you get more of a story when I answer them this way. Hey, so the Danish Viking King Alex at Steve. Hey Steve, hope your back is all right. A few questions. Yes, my back is not the worst. I had an accident like when I was in my early 20s that put me out of commission for a while, but the fact that I was so badly hurt back then is what actually made me quit my job and take this job, which is significantly less physical, so ultimately kind of worked out in my favor. A few questions. Craftworld Eldar, Dukari, and Harlequins. Which one of them do you think is, one, the coolest lore-wise? Sorry, I'm going to turn this sideways so I can read it better. 2, the best competitive army. 3, the funnest to play with and against, and why? Good day to you and happy wargaming. Oh, also, if I look like I'm really tired, it is first thing in the morning. I literally just walked in, turned the camera on. I haven't fully woken up yet. And my caffeine is out of arm's reach. Speaking to me from across the room. All right, let's focus. Okay, so I'm going to take this in 3 parts then. Well, because it's a 3-parter. Which one do you think is the coolest lore-wise? Okay, so the Eldar, the Craftworld Eldar, to me have a really cool background. The Award Heaven, the fact that their lack of there's a whole bunch. They live on these giant planet-sized spaceships. Well, they're not that big. The craft worlds aren't that big. City-sized spaceships, but I guess there are plenty. They live on giant craft worlds. Why they wear all their gems on their armor to catch their souls when they pass in combat. I think I like the craft world lore the best. Now, the Dukari lore. You can separate it into 2 parts: the grotesque stuff and like the pirate stuff. If you go to the Dukari, the Dark Eldar raiding stuff, the pirate stuff, I think it's pretty cool. But the rest of it, like Gamora, is it's a terrible. I would rather worship a chaos god than go to Gamora, the capital city of the Dukari. It is a horrible, horrible place, especially for the slaves. The Harlequins potentially have the greatest lore, but there's not a whole bunch of it. The whole thing about them just being intermediaries between the Dukari and the Craftworld Eldar, putting on their play, the play being the show of the fall of the Eldar race, the birth of Slaanesh and the solitaire play Slaanesh, and it's really cool. So potentially Harlequin's #1. It's just that there's so much more about the craft world and so much more about the Phoenix lords and all them. So I think craft world's #1, Harlequin #2, and Dukari #3, lore-wise for me. And that's a different number for everybody. What was the second part of that question? The best competitive, there's no doubt there. It's craft world, Dukari, Harlequin. However, if you bring I'm sorry, first thing in the morning, if you bring Inari into the equation, it's Inari. But Craftworld has every tool for, or actually, let's rephrase that. Craftworld has 6 tools for every job. Dukari is just so cheap point-wise, and they have 2 tools. Poison and, what do they call those weapons? Blasters, but they're Dark Lance weapons. They're blast weapons. They're strength 8, -4, 1 damage weapons, or sorry, D6 damage weapons. They have 2 weapons, but those 2 weapons cover every situation, and they have them in spades. There's tons of them. So Drukhari, like if I had to go to a tournament right now, I would play Drukhari, even though I say Craft World's a little bit better. I'm just more familiar with them. I've played more with them, and I personally can do better with the Dark Eldar right now than I can with the Craft World. But if I had 6 months to prepare, Craft World Eldar for sure. I practiced a whole bunch of them. I beat Altiok, however you want to pronounce it. Hemlocks and Rangers and yeah, all that crap. Harlequins, I know Quirk does very well with them, and they're very not fun to play against, especially if you're playing a lower tier army, because they have a lot of jank. But they're not impossible to beat. There's a couple of things. Like actually, there's one thing that's really annoying. Like their 48-inch move Solitaire that makes you punch yourself to death. That guy's annoying if you have a big giant Death Star, but they're not that bad, Harlequins. But like on a skilled player, they do very well. And that's the thing about Eldar too. They're always a finesse army, so the more skilled you are at the game, you can get more. How do I phrase this properly? I'm not very eloquent. 2 people of equal skill. One person playing, say, Space Marines, one person playing Eldar. Let's take Gilliman out of the question, or the equation. Of equal skill, the Eldar player is probably going to win. Now, you take 2 people of... Actually, I don't know how to phrase this properly. Okay, let's say somebody who's really good at the game, really good at the nuance of the game, the movement parts of the game, all the little shenanigans of the game, that... I'll call it ability, that skill that player has will be more useful with the Eldar races than the other races. They tend to have more finesse type things. Like a bad player can win a game with Gilliman and a bunch of Hellblasters. A bad player can't win a game with a super finesse Eldar army because he doesn't know how to do it. I mean, you can get lucky with dice. Like dice are always a thing, but like if you really know what you're doing, that takes you farther with Eldar than any other race. The third part of the question. The funnest to play with and against and why? Okay. So, I'm not a big fan of playing with the Harlequins, but I have no problem playing against them. I honestly, there's a reason why you've seen me stop. Like, I haven't played the Drukhari in a long time. We only have Cabalites, pretty much. We have almost no Witch Cult stuff. Or none. Yeah, we have no Witch Cult stuff. And almost no, if not... Oh, no, we have the Reaver Jet Bikes. So we have very little Witch Cult stuff and very little Homunculus stuff, if anything from Homunculus. So we just have the Cabalite stuff, which is the really powerful stuff. So I think the Drukhari have just been I'll try to pick my words carefully here, overpowered. For lack of a better term, you can argue that term, the overpowered. I just found that it's been too easy to win a game with the Drukhari this edition. Everything seems to be so cheap, and it's just it's not like an astral term gunline where you don't move and shoot. Drukhari moves so fast that you just move and focus something down, move and focus something down, move, focus something down. It feels like there's not much game left when you play them. Now, you can lose with them for sure, but it is so many poison and strength 8, -4, D6 damage shots. Oh, 1 second. Come on in. Not coming in? You can come in. Somebody knocked on my door. But anyways, they have so many shots that it gets a little easy and then unfun. And then your opponent doesn't have fun. And when your opponent doesn't have fun, it's hard to have fun. So Drukhari, just because of the stuff that we have, is the problem. It's really good stuff. Now, also, the list was like, I can't remember, I used to have like 5,000 points, I think, in 7th edition of Dark Eldar. Now it's like less than 3,000. It feels like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad, but pretty much when I make a 2,000 point list, most of the stuff we have in studio are in the list. So there's not a lot of variance. So maybe if you spent a bunch of money and time painting them up, I could have more fun with them. But as it stands right now, I'm not having fun with them because we have just really powerful Cabalite stuff. Secondly, Craft World. I think anybody would say we have the least fun playing with them. But Craft World is really fun to play. I'm not going to lie. I really enjoy playing with them. Excuse me. Keep turning my head into the mic and coughing too. So yeah, Craft World is a lot of fun to play with. Now, the thing about Craft World is there's so many things that, like unit options, that you can make a really toned down list and make a list that's fun for your opponent. But it's often hard to remember to, it's hard to take weaker stuff because you want to, it's the human mindset, right? So yeah, you can make a fun list with Craft World Eldar for everybody to have fun with. It's just, you gotta get past your own little biases because we always think, oh, it's pretty good, but it's not that good. Like, I would never, in a fun game, play Alitalk. I wouldn't bring Hemlocks. I wouldn't even bring Reapers. Guardians are pretty good. They're just not the best, so I'd bring Guardians. Actually, everything in that book is good. That's the problem. Everything is good. Let's move on. Brigand Jin. At Steve, if you're able to design/redesign any Games Workshop miniature, what would it be? Also, in Quirk's video in the background, you sounded pretty excited or maybe desperate to play some good old-fashioned fantasy. Any chance that might be coming back? Okay, so 2 questions there. If I could design, I would design a Primarch. Like, I'd bring in Lionel Johnson into the 40K universe for sure. I think of something else I'd rather do. No, I think it'd be him. So there's some, I'd find some, like, there's a lot of really cool artwork with the Dark Angels. So I'm a fantasy player, right? I prefer fantasy over sci-fi. And there's a lot of, that's one of the main reasons why I actually liked the Dark Angels at first, because they felt like, old knights. And I was a big Bretonnian player back in the day for fantasy. So they just felt like they were the most fantasy of all of them. Now, my thoughts may have changed since then, but yeah, so there's some old artwork. You Google and find any Dark Angels pictures, just, power armored knights and robes and swords. I'd use some of them to design Lionel Johnson. If I had to redesign a model, I'd redesign Azrael. Again, another Dark Angel model. He's really dated and old, and there's a picture that's been in like the last 3 codices of Azrael performing a ritual, and it's just like, I've seen somebody make the conversion of that model, of that off the artwork, and he did such an amazing job making it look like that artwork. It was just beautiful. So I'd probably redesign that. It wasn't a Dark Angel miniature. There's a lot of things that could use a redesign. Oddly enough, the old orcs, I think are fine. I like them the way they are. But maybe orcs can use a new sculpt. Huh. I can literally sit here forever and talk about this. I don't want to get bogged down in this too long. Yeah, I'll just stick with Johnson and Azrael. I sounded desperate or maybe excited. Yeah, I haven't played fantasy in quite some time. It's been, I'm trying to think the last time I played. Oh, did me and Colin play? So Colin and I played a game 2 months ago, maybe longer. Yeah, so I haven't played in a couple of months. And like, I know I just posted one with Luca a couple weeks ago on my channel, on my YouTube channel, but that was filmed like in the middle of winter. That was months and months and months ago. We just couldn't upload that. It was, oh, you want to see the greatest fantasy game ever? Go to my channel. It is labeled, sometimes this just happens in Warhammer Fantasy. Watch that 15-minute bat rep. Mountain Miniatures Gaming. Sometimes this just happens in fantasy. It's my YouTube channel. I upload some stuff there. It is the greatest game. Matthew watched that video. Matthew laughed at that video. It was hilarious. It was probably one of the most memorable fantasy moments I can think of. There's been a few in my time, but that one's gonna stick for quite some time. Any chance that it might be coming back? Not anytime soon on MiniWarGaming. We're just really excited with Age of Sigmar right now. It's doing very well for us. Like, I'm painting a bunch of Age of Sigmar stuff right, like, in the last, I can't say how long, but let's say definitely in 2018, I've painted Oh, spoilers. Okay, okay. I've painted 3 AOS armies. One you've never seen yet, but I expect you'll see it soon. Um, GM Wayne. Actually, I gotta keep track of the time. What time be it? Oh, we got like 10 minutes left. I did not go very far at all. GM Wayne. Hey, Steve. I got to ask, what's your favorite faction in AOS and why? Also, any pro tips for someone pretty new to AOS? Keep on making videos. I live you guys. That is cool. That is cool. Um, Favorite faction? I am loving the Deepkin right now. I don't know why. I've always been the elf fan. Like High Elves, my primary Warhammer Fantasy army. You don't exist in AOS, but we have the first elf faction. Um, the character, sorry, I did Deepkin, and it's a funny story how I got them. I probably would have done them anyway, either way, but I have 2 of every unit painted, well, at least 1 of every character painted. Like I have a very large Deepkin army, and I love them. They're my favorite faction right now, though. Um, I have a very large Warhammer Fantasy Lizardman army, and I have been not repainting. I've been buying new Lizardmen and painting them for Age of Sigmar, and the way I painted them for Fantasy was these very bland, very pale white green Lizardman list where it was using the Armor Painter dip. I was just we were playing Warhammer Fantasy. You got to bring massive units, tons of models that I just painted them fast. I've been taking my time, and airbrushing helps. So my new Lizardmen, I just love the way they look. So I'm really digging the Seraphim right now, but my Deepkin are my favorite right now. I love them. My favorite faction for sure. Any pro tips for someone pretty new to AOS? Play to lose. Um, do stupid things. Charge when you don't think you should charge. Castle up on an objective when you think it'd be better to charge. Do the wrong thing a lot. Play to lose a bunch of games. And don't make mistakes. And like, how do I explain this? Like, play to lose. Find out why. Confirm is I'm bad with my words. Come on in for a game, and I'll give you more tips. It's easier to me explain with models on the table. But I learn more from a loss than from a win. So don't try to win every game. That's my pro tip. Don't try to win every game. And then if you play just to learn, you'll have fun. And then when you need to win, you go to that local tournament and you want to win, then you can throw out all those little tricks and shenanigans you've learned, but you can't learn them. You can't get caught by them if you don't know what they are. Like, you have to do things wrong. So play to lose. Play to lose a bunch of games. Maybe you get ahead of your opponent at like on points or whatever, and then try to find a way where he could beat you or she. Try to find out how you can lose your game. Say it's turn 4 and you're up by like 7 points. Figure out a way your opponent can possibly beat you that turn. If you figure that out, then you'll just do that much better in the game. Play to lose is my tip. Weird tips though, right? Dav plays. Hi Steve. Creative Assembly confirmed we're getting another. Creative Assembly confirmed we're getting another faction for Total War Warhammer 2. What do you think this faction will be, given that the major armies in the new world are out? I know Vampire Coast, like autocorrect got you there, bud, has some supplement stuff, and they're always Dogs of War or Amazons. Oh, Dogs of War would be cool. Okay, sorry, I just twisted my back. You didn't see it? That hurt. Okay, here's the truth about me and Warhammer Total War 2. Or Warhammer Total War. A while ago, I had to uninstall them from my computer. I wasn't getting enough painting done at home. Like, I'd go home and with the intent of painting, or I would just stay at home instead of going into the office, because often I can get more painted at home if I just stay at home all day and paint than if I come in here and paint, because you hang out with a bunch of your buddies all day, you tend to goof around a lot. So I had to uninstall the game because it was distracting me too much. And a few days ago, or actually last week, I reinstalled Total War 2, and started a High Elf campaign again. And within the first day, I'm like, oh crap, I gotta uninstall this. I'm not getting work done. Bah. So I have to not think about that right now, to be honest with you, because it's too distracting. But Dogs of War would be cool. Oh, that game is fun. Let's see how much time we got. I can keep going. Actually, if you ever want to play Total War with me, I'm a little wary about putting this out here right now. Send me an email if you want to play Total War or even Baldur's Gate. Because Colin and I are going to do that real soon. I'm going to take a few of you guys on if you want. But just send me an email with your Steam name. Or if you don't have Steam, just send me an email. And I'll put you, I won't reply to the email. I'll just put your email in a list of stuff. Yeah. I can see a bunch of video games in my future. Because I haven't played, not to insult MiniWarGaming, but since I started working here, I've drastically cut out video games because I've been painting. So I've painted more armies in the last 4 years of my time here than I have in the last 15 years. Also, World of Warcraft just got a new expansion, and Quirk and I are on the same server. Like, he transferred to my server a couple years ago, and I haven't played this game forever. And everybody's talking about it, and I'm trying to just stay away from it because I'll just stop painting completely. And I have a couple projects on the go. Oh, actually, while I'm talking about that, I got some. I want to make a video for my channel explaining this, but if any of you are waiting for my Kings of War videos, they just had actually, you know what? I'll post an update on that. This is my no coffee scatterbrain rambling where my mind's going everywhere. So if you're waiting for the Kings of War stuff, I'll post a video on that, updating it. Whoop. Oh, Random Roy. Hold on, I can't say. Whoa. Random Roy. Wow. I can't say it. Random Roy. Haha. Hey, Stevie McSteve of the clan McSteve. Actually, from my Scottish side of my family, I come from Clan MacLeod. Thank you. Which 340k units do you fear the most, and what are your tactics for trying to stop them? Okay, I think I'm going to end up with this, because this might take me a while. I can't stand that Harlequin Spirit Seer with the punch yourself to death combination of stuff. Hate that thing. What do I fear the most? Back in 7th, it was Helldrakes, even though Chaos was garbage. Oh, what's that? What's a Tyranid monster? Not the, oh. Is it a Trenofex? Maybe it's a Trenofex. Either way, it's the Tyranid, one of them for me is that Tyranid monster with that, 2d6 auto-hitting flamer at strength user. It starts like strength 7, like d3 damage. That thing is terrifying. What do I fear the most? Anything can die nowadays, right? Oh, Gene Stealers. I don't like Gene Stealers. They're terrifying. They move too fast. What else does I fear? Chaos Militarum, blobs you got. Nah, Chaos, no, Space Marines, Gilliman, but Craft World, maybe the Hemlock for Craft World. They're rough to deal with. You can't charge them. Wraithings aren't scary anymore. Interesting. I don't think there's any one thing anymore that's super scary. It's all the combinations that make things really good. And I do have an answer of I'm scared of X. This is how you deal with X. You shoot it. It's 440k, you just shoot it. Unless it's a Terminator, and then you just walk away from it, because it'll never catch you. Yeah, you just shoot it. Man, I did not go as far as I expected whatsoever. The timer's not showing up on my camera, but I think... let's do one more. Let's do one more before we go to the vault. Negrom29, that's Steve. How have you been finding the new summoning mechanic too much to handle for those that can't summon? How does the Skink Priest Curse of Fate spell work? Does it affect one die or entire roll of a die? Okay, so I'll say this. I'm gonna talk about the spoilers of one of my Age of Sigmar bat reps in this last comment. So spoilers moving forward. Stop watching now if you haven't seen my last pairing of AOS, which was a couple of good games. Yeah, skip ahead. Go to the next video. Go to the vault. So in the vault, I'll be answering more questions. Head over there right now. Okay, so how do I feel about the new summoning mechanic? First, I'm assuming you meant Lizardman. Can you talk about this Skink Priest next? So I think it's really good. Potentially too good. Slan had always had cast and unbind 3 spells. I know I only ever did 2. It was Arcane Bolt and Mystic Shield. Now it's 0 because I just want I want those 10 plus D3 points every turn to summon stuff. I've had a game. Okay, here's the spoilers. I had a game very recently against what's the dude's name? All right, buddy. Sorry, I forgot your name. He came in. He was so shy. He was quiet. But like when the camera was off, he was just a really cool guy. I had a lot of fun with him. He played Khorne, and Khorne's not that great of an army. He's actually taught me some stuff that I've been imparting to Dave because Dave's learning AOS. So either way, as he would kill my stuff, I would literally just summon the exact same stuff back. It was like he couldn't kill my guys, and the game went. I can't remember the exact points of the game, but basically something like this. Like turn 1, I got 3 points, and his turn 1 he got 3 points, and then he went again. So then he got like 6 points, but then I caught up with 7 points, and then he got to 8 points, and then I got to 8 points. It was so close until the very end where he's got me, where he did the Khorne summoning where he brought down that Bloodthirster with that chain flail thing, and he like one-shot one of my characters, and then he charged a Bastiladon and this outright killed it. So summoning worked for him because his army was dying fast and he needed it, whereas the Lizardmen, they weren't dying at all. I ended the game with more stuff on the table than I started with, so potentially too good. It's hard to say. I don't want to like, for Seraphim players, I don't want to like give Seraphim a bad reputation by saying it's overpowered because I don't have enough experience to say it is, though it might be. Like if I had to go to a tournament right now, I would probably take Deepkin. But the only reason why I say probably, because I'd stop and think, would I take Seraphim instead? So like that's the only two, like they're my armies, but they're the only two that I can think of. Oh, I guess Beast Claws are still overpowered. But those, like I'd probably take Deepkin, but Seraphim with all that summoning and especially the Thunderquake Star Host, yeah, they're a contender. So yeah, summoning's really really good for them. Is it too good? I don't know, but it is really good. Okay, I'm gonna look up that power for you. What was it called? The Skink Priest Curse of Fate spell. Let me just pull that up. I think I'm running over time, but we're okay. A battle, no. This is sit and watch Steve go through his phone. We should do like a live one. You guys just text me the questions. Oh wait, that probably would be a good idea. Email me the questions. Well, if you came in here, you probably have my phone number anyway, so you guys can text me. Skink Star Priest. He said Priest or Star. I think he meant Star Priest. That's Summon Starlight. Okay. Wait, do you mean the Star Seer? Curse of Fate. I think you meant Star Seer. Let me double check what you said. Yeah, you meant Star Seer. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's a different model. I know this one. Okay. So Curse of Fate has a casting value 4. If successfully cast, pick a unit within 20 once per phase until your next hero phase. You can increase or decrease the result of a single die roll for the unit by 1. That's pretty simple. What's the question? Oh, does it affect a die or an entire roll? Well, it affects one die, which will affect the roll. So if that unit wants to charge, and they move 2d6, and you rolled a 5-inch charge, say a 4 and a 1, you can add 1 to the 4 or the 1, and it works out to be the same. If you're hitting something on a 3 and you rolled a 2, you can use that and make it a 3. But here's what a lot of people don't realize. What's even better, sir, or ma'am, Negrom, that could be anything. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, it's a single die roll in the game. If somebody, you can actually affect your opponent's dice with this spell. So somebody rolls a charge and they make it, you can like, I'm gonna reduce that by 1, and maybe they fail the charge, or they're hitting you on whatever, and on natural 6s or 2 mortal wounds. Well, I'm gonna make that 6 a 5. Oh no, because that's unmodified. So it'd be ones I would say like 6 plus. You can actually affect their dice as well. Somebody rolled a save and they have a 3-up save and they rolled a 3. Well, let's make that a 2. That's what's really, really good about the power. Yeah. Pick a unit within 20, and once per phase until your next phase, you can increase or decrease the result of a single die roll for that unit by 1. Yeah, that works on you or your opponent. It's such a good power, but it's on the Starseer, and mine's currently on a square base, and I'm thinking about moving him over to a round base. But the second I do, I'm gonna want him for fantasy. He's very expensive to buy another one, but I might be able to buy another one. But yeah, it's a really great power. Yeah, it changes a single die up or down 1. If you roll 2 dice, it only does 1 die up or down 1, not both of them. You do not psychic power. You do a arcane bolt. You roll 2 dice. You change 1 roll of 1 of those dice up or down. They cast psychic power. They rolled. They want to do arcane bolt, and they rolled a straight 5. You take 1 of their dice, make it a 4. Make it 1 less, and they fail. Yeah, 1 die for that unit you target. It's usually better for yourself, but I love doing it on the enemy unit as I'm about to charge in, like a big monster, like a gash, whatever. He has a good save. Like maybe he has 1 wound left. No, I'm gonna make that 1 up instead. But yeah, great power. Either way, that's it. I could ramble on that one for longer. So I'm gonna go into the vault right now and do this for a little bit more. I have no idea how many more there are, but I think I'll get through everybody's today. Maybe. So if you're not already a Vault member, you can click the link below and get yourself a 7-day free trial. Right after you finish watching my video, you can cancel. It won't cost you a dime. I'll just talk more about your questions, answering more things. And remember, next week is Luca, just the Luca the Dice, Mr. the Dice, Luca. Leave him his questions. Thank you for watching, and happy wargaming.